Hey guys, so last night I saw Batman vs Superman, and that was the thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna review this movie, and first, okay, okay. I walked out of this movie with people in the audience at the end of it applauding as if it was really good. I don't understand that. I really don't. So what did I personally think of the movie? Well, I enjoyed parts of it, but overall, it's a mess. It's a bloated mess. So let's talk about the positives of this film first. Okay, Ben Affleck as Batman. I know when it was announced, the internet exploded, and I'm like, oh my god, Ben Affleck as Batman? What? No. But Batman is the best part of this movie. Batman is badass. Ben Affleck does a great job as both Bruce Wayne and Batman. Alfred's awesome in this, and it has some good lines. Jeremy Irons did a great job with him. And so it does get you kind of pumped for seeing a solo Batman movie with this Batman. Now, keep in mind, though, that if you're a fan of a Batman having a moral code, being like, I don't kill, then I don't know if you're going to like this Batman, because he's a straight-up murderer in this movie. He really is. And I read a thing by Zack Snyder, and I was like, well, or he said, I tried to have it where he wasn't straight up murdering people. It was more kind of like manslaughter, where, he was shooting at a truck, and, people in the truck were criminals, that were trying to kill him. But, the truck blew up, so the people died. So it's like he didn't directly murder him, but it's just really, really dumb. But that aside, this is a badass Batman. And it does get me excited about seeing some solo Batman films with this Batman. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, I still think she was miscast in this movie, but she does a reasonable job in the role, and does a good job with the fight scenes. And that brings me to another really good thing about this movie. The fight scenes are really good. They're really fun. It's great to see, Batman and Superman going at it. And it's just a really well done fight scenes. And the one at the end with all three of them was really, really good. Let's see. I'm trying to think of other positives because it's really hard. I've said this before. I like the more realistic approach they're taking to how the world reacts to Superman. So I really, really like that. But that leads me into my first big negative. This is a Man of Steel sequel. But the problem is there's so much stuff in this movie, there's so many characters that we don't really get to fully explore Superman's characterization or his story in this movie. It's just more of an extension of his story in Man of Steel, where he doesn't feel like he belongs on this planet, and just added within people that are afraid of him and don't accept him. And that is a huge shame too, because I think that Superman gets overshadowed a lot by Batman, and I really wanted just a standalone Superman movie. I mean, Henry Cavill does a good job, but he doesn't really get to take Superman to that overgrown Boy Scout place where Superman can be serious but can still joke around. It's just it's just, I think it's just, the overall tone of this movie is still pretty dark, and Superman is just still more the same from Man of Steel, where he's kind of just, you know, still finding himself, when I don't really like that aspect of it. Oh god, Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is terrible in this movie. Jesse Eisenberg completely miscast in this role. I don't know why they chose him. But Lex Luthor in this movie is not really the savvy businessman with, you know, that's manipulating stuff behind the scenes. He's a psychotic businessman that's manipulating things behind the scenes. And I mean, he's just completely psychotic. His motivations don't make any sense. There are a ton of plot holes in this movie. It's like, you know, he's manipulating things behind the scenes. You know, he does this one thing that has really no bearing on the plot. It's just it's really ridiculous. Like he's doing all these things behind the scenes, but they don't really amount to anything. And that's the weird thing. It doesn't really amount to anything. He's trying to manipulate things to get Batman and Superman to go at it against each other, but it just, to me, it just doesn't really work. And that kind of leads into another thing, like characterizations are off. You know, things like characters do things, like Lois Lane does things in this movie just because the script tells her to do it. I mean, she does stupid things, and then it's like, oh no, I did a stupid thing, I gotta fix it, and then winds up getting in trouble and have to be saved by Superman. I mean, it's just, it is ridiculous. And Superman, Batman is not really a great detective in this, although I can kind of understand why he's not seeing all the stuff that Lex is doing, is manipulating, because he's just so focused on taking down Superman. That's his main goal. But yeah, it's just, oh man, you know, and the writing could have been a lot better. And there are some good parts to the writing, some good lines in there, and I get what they were trying to do in some scenes, but you know, there are too many characters. Wonder Woman did not need to be in this movie. You know, they had the cameos by, oh my god, they had the cameos for Flash, Cyborg, and Aquaman, and you know, the action just started picking up, and then it switches to this scene, and the cameos are just like, oh, I'm checking out a flash drive file. Oh, it's got a Wonder Woman logo on it. Oh, that one's got a Flash logo. I'm gonna click that. Watch a video. Oh, I'm gonna click the Cyborg one. Watch another video. I'm gonna click the Aquaman. Watch another video. And it was just so lazy the way they did that. And they didn't need to have those cameos. All they had to do was maybe have just some stuff written in there about them, or just show a picture or something. But it was just really lazy the way they did that. I did not like that at all. Just the editing in this movie, the editing combined with the pacing was just really off. I mean, a lot of scenes felt kind of disjointed, like, you know, they're just out of place. There's one scene with Batman where he's like having a nightmare, and then another thing happens which may have relation to plot further on down the line with the Justice League movies, but then they kind of write it off as a dream, and it's like, well, did that happen or didn't it? If this is important to set up for another movie, maybe you should have said this really happened. But it's just it wasn't fully explained, and a lot of things weren't fully explained, character motivations and stuff. So that's why I think that probably they cut a lot out of this movie. And I know I think there's going to be a rated R uncut version. I think that could be 3 hours long. I mean, this movie was like 2.5 hours, and so maybe things will get explained in deleted scenes. But yeah, I mean, God, this movie was a huge missed opportunity. You know, they could have done, and you know, they could have done a straight up, you know, Man of Steel sequel with Batman in it, and you know, not have Wonder Woman or any of the other Justice League, you know, lead ups, and they could have focused on that and had a much better movie. But you know, they failed. And you know, I'm tired of this. You know, we're dark, we're gritty. That's DC's movie universe. You know, I'm tired of that. You know, you can be dark and gritty and still have fun moments. This movie lacked humor so much. There are a couple funny little moments here and there, but they were few and far in between, man. So, you know, ultimately, you know, I'm trying to stay away from spoilers here and there, but you guys know that Doomsday was in this movie from the trailer, and Doomsday looked terrible. I mean, he looked a little bit better in his final form, but man, he looked awful. I did not like the way he looked, and the fact that they even had him in this movie again, you know, I thought they were going to build it up where it was probably going to be kind of a death of Superman sort of thing, where, you know, the people were against Superman, they're scared of him, and then, you know, he'd save them, you know, from Doomsday, you know, but at the cost of his own life or something like that, and everybody would just be like, oh, we love Superman now, yay, he's just trying to do the right thing, and you know, they kind of do that, but then they don't really, you know, show, you know, the people of the world, you know, being like, oh, well, I guess I was wrong about Superman, he's a good guy. They don't really show that, and it's just like everything's just rushed, and oh man, I really am trying to avoid spoilers, but it's just, oh god, some of the things they did in this movie, they could have waited on and done like a few movies down the line, but they're just rushing to catch up with Marvel, and it's just not, the choices they made for this movie were not good, and it's no wonder this movie is getting, I think it's at 30% right now on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, honestly, Man of Steel was a better film. You know, I enjoyed Man of Steel. It had some flaws, but it was a much better film than this. This is just a bloated mess. I think this really deserves a 4.5, maybe a 5 out of 10. But yeah, I mean, that's my opinion on Batman vs. Superman, guys. But what did you guys think of it? Did you really like it? Or, you know, I'm still looking forward to the Wonder Woman movie and the Suicide Squad movie. We'll see how those work out, and we'll see after this mess, the future of the DC cinematic universe. But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. But till next time.